On this episode of the Procedurally Generated Show, Tony crosses some animals while Ethan rips and tears. We talk about the week's biggest news and answer your questions. Well, howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Procedurally Generated Show. I'm your host, Tony, and joining me this week, I've got Ethan.
Hey, Tony.
What's going on?
Nothing.
A couple of big games came out this week. I think we're probably going to talk about those.
A couple of big games? That's insanity.
Unfortunately, we're not getting the crossover that everybody wanted.
Well, I mean, you got one, I got the other. We're both on this podcast. There you go.
That's true. That works, I guess.
Cool. All right, night, everyone.
That's it. We're done. See you later. So, yeah. Doom and Animal Crossing both released on Friday, right? Friday.
Yeah, well, officially Friday.
Yeah, I got to play Animal Crossing on Thursday night.
And I got to play Doom on Thursday night. While the game was released early via GameStop, whereas physical copies were playable, but anyone with a PC copy had to wait for that unlock.
So, console players got to play it before PC players?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you had a physical copy, it was playable.
Well, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. And since the PC copy was just a box with a code in it.
That is, I can't believe they're still doing that.
It was like, I think for collector's editions or something.
Yeah.
Which I really wish I'd gotten that helmet.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been awesome.
I saw a couple people on Facebook posting that they were playing the game while wearing the helmet.
Jealous.
So, yeah, you should have been playing Animal Crossing while wearing the helmet.
I'm waiting on my copy to come in. and I need to get the helmet.
Well, how is Doom?
It's good.
Yeah?
It's not Doom 2016 good, but it's good.
Okay. How so?
Doom 2016, that came out, and the entire time it's like, kill demons, rush through everything, and that's all you're doing is just blasting through everything. It's like, no need for story. We have a plot. It's, there's demons over there. We gotta stop them, and we're the only ones that can do that. You find little bits of story here and there. Don't really care. Keep going. Kill demons.
Yeah, even the main character in the game didn't care about what was going on. He just wanted to kill the demons.
That was the whole point, because they looked at what they did with Doom 3, and they're like, people were kind of put off by this one. Let's dial this back a bit and just say, turn up the speed to 11 and skip the story, and there you go.
And it made for a fantastic experience.
And I love that part early on when he's like putting on the armor, and then the computer monitor, someone's contacting him on the side, he looks at it and just breaks it.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't care, I got stuff to do. I mean, you wake up after a sleep of God knows how long, because the demons trapped you, or someone trapped you.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
And there's demons everywhere. It's like I got a world to clean up, and I got a rabbit to feed. Out of my way.
So yeah, it seems like they with that reboot, they're just like, we're gonna give everybody the parts they really like, and then the next time.
This one though, Doom Eternal, it's laying on the story a little thick compared to that one.
Really?
Yeah, there's definitely plot there. There's locations and stuff. That you have an AI that's talking to you fairly often, saying stuff. But it still plays pretty much the same. It's just you actually have some downtime. You have a kind of a orbital cathedral base thing that you hang around in.
Yeah.
So you can go up there, chill, look at the Earth. It's been infested by hell now. So you're just up there listening to the comms, people yelling for help. I guess I'll go.
So does this one take place on Mars, or is it?
No, you're on Earth.
Okay.
Like I said, you're in an orbital cathedral looking thing. You just teleport down to Earth every mission or whatever.
Okay.
In fact, the current area I'm in just got me teleported into the hell area. So, yay. Taking the battle back to their home turf again. Uh, a lot, a lot. Okay, quality of life changes that were not in the Doom 2016, and the best way I can describe this first one is if you've ever played Left 4 Dead, the original game, and then moved on to Left 4 Dead 2, and you notice how shooting zombies, like the guts and stuff will spill out in the second game, whereas first game they just kind of took the damage and like unless you blew their head off, nothing really spectacular happens.
Yeah.
So in two, damage shows. In this one, you shoot a demon, you're gonna see flesh fly off of them. The bone will be showing, and they'll still be running at you, ready to kill. It's very gruesome.
Wow. Yeah,
And
they're learning that it's the end of the PS4 and the Xbox One's life cycle, so they're pushing the tech. It sounds like as far as they
I'm
can.
playing this one on PC, so
Oh yeah,
I don't know. I mean, if they are pushing the limits on the tech on there, or maybe they've turned down like some of the particle effects, or I don't know what they're doing, but they probably found another way to compress and push the limits even more.
I'm sure Digital Foundry will have a video on it.
Eventually, I'm sure. I am finding the weapon selection on there is not going to be the greatest as compared to the Doom 2016,
Hmm.
so that makes me sad. But you get certain good things early on, like a chainsaw. Yeah.
Okay, so it's Gears of War.
Uh, some other changes. You can now have skins on your Doom guy,
Oh yeah, I saw some different ones floating around on Twitter today.
like the Twitch exclusive Doomicorn, where your armor is all white and you look like a unicorn.
Yeah, I saw that one for sure.
I just noticed earlier that the extendable blade thing that he has on his arm is more of a wand in that form.
Hmm.
So those are skins, not just for multiplayer; they're single player too.
Does it show in the cutscenes?
Yes,
Okay.
very much so. Because I was playing around with the Doomslayer club out skins that I got,
Yeah.
which are all it's his Doomslayer skin. He's a zombie essentially, like he's back from the dead and fleshy destructions all over him and stuff.
Mm.
And it went to a cutscene, and you just see my guy walk in there, and he's got big chunk missing out of his leg, and then the helmet's broken, and it's all bony and meaty.
That
Ugh.
sounds lovely.
It's like, yeah, I'm gonna switch over to another skin now. And no, I'm not using Doomicorn. I redeemed it because it was free and it was from Twitch, and I was like, this is funny.
Well, you have to.
It also comes with its own little stage thing that you can unlock stuff for. So I was like, yeah. Uh, yeah, the fleshy stuff when you shoot the demons, that's a massive quality of life thing. Um, I haven't gotten too far. I'm like a couple of levels in, maybe two or three. I'm not really sure,
Mhm.
but I am enjoying it. It does feel a little slower paced than 2016 did, but at the same time, it's still bringing on the whole exploration that you had there, where you're just kind of in an area, bring up your map. It's like, okay, there's a secret over there, and I need to go around somehow to get there.
Yeah.
So you still have your slight puzzle elements here and there.
Okay.
One thing I've really been curious about from various images I saw, you would see like giant mechs just buried into the ground, like and partially destroyed here and there.
Okay.
And I guess there's an entire army of the Doom guys or something at some point, because apparently you're part of something much greater, and you're like the last one, and you're a rogue at that. I guess I don't know. They don't treat you too kindly whenever you talk to the ghost. Uh, but even those giant mechs, they have the same armor design you do, and it's just like I want to pilot one of those and go after all
Yeah.
these demons. and you'll see that they're like they're holding down giant demons the same size dead, and you can crawl on several of these at some point. So that's pretty cool, and maybe even get to activate a special weapon here and there on them.
Okay.
But I mean, if I get to pilot one later, that's going to be amazing and make me very happy.
That's going to make it feel like a very different game.
I'm sure it'll just be like first person view mode while you're inside the mech still.
Yeah.
And just essentially everything around you is a smaller version. Like, oh, that building I was having trouble climbing is now just microscopic. So yeah, the upgrades are still there. There's new stuff you can upgrade. Uh, Most recent one I got was a air dash. You get a double air dash, and then so you start with your double jump. So that's something that carried over from Doom 2016. That's great. And then you can combine that with your air dash, so you can get across quicker on certain areas once you've unlocked that. And I think there's upgrades to those as well, where like your air dash will recharge quicker, probably.
Okay.
I do know I found a thing that recharges it midair when you hit it, so that's really nice. But other than that, it's just a pretty awesome Doom game. If I mean, if you really like 2016, you'll probably like this one. But if not, I don't know what to tell you, because it's. I mean, I can see the difference, but it's not that big a deal, really, if there is any.
And if you haven't played Doom 2016, you should go play it.
Yeah, yeah, I will agree to that.
Because it's cheap and it's fantastic.
It it is it is a game that you should have played.
And
Speaking of,
it's on everything. So
yeah, it's easily accessible on anything and everything, really. Even Switch. Not Doom Eternal though. I think
no,
that's coming though.
that's coming.
Yeah, don't expect the same quality of life like the I was talking about earlier. It might get
No,
scaled back.
it's probably going to have a lower frame rate, lower resolution.
Yeah,
It's going to be playable and it's going to look all right, but it's not going to be.
yeah. I doubt they would even keep the fleshy stuff that just breaks off of enemies
Yeah,
just
that's
because.
probably not.
So aside from all that, I uh, I have forgot what I was trying to say, but it was going to be something related to Animal Crossing. So we'll just skip over to Tony.
Yeah, because that's what I've been playing. Um, it unlocked 11 o'clock on Thursday night,
Nice, same time as Doom.
and I started playing it and played it far longer than I should have that night.
How long?
Like 2 hours.
Shame on you.
So, but you've got to do everything.
2 hours. That's rookie numbers.
I had to sleep sometime.
Did you?
I did. I had to
Did
go to
you?
work the next day.
Hmm.
I had to go to work. So, yeah, I was like not super excited about this one really. Just a lot of the videos had just been it just looked like more Animal Crossing. Um, and I could just play New Leaf if I had really wanted to. But uh
But
with some birthday credit that day, I
mm-hmm.
decided I'll go ahead and get it because there's going to be plenty of people in the house that want to play it,
Mm-hmm.
and I forgot just how much fun Animal Crossing is to play. Like it's been a while. If I went back to my town or on the 3DS, everybody would be very angry with me, and there would be so many weeds. It would take 2 hours just to clear all the weeds out of my town. Um, so
I,
uh,
was it 64 or not 64, the GameCube version, or the DS one, where there was like a ghost you could encounter that you could ask it to clear all the weeds by morning?
I remember the ghost in the 3DS version of the game, but I don't think it cleared weeds. You could hire people to clear weeds in the 3DS version of the game. It was one of those things as the mayor you could do. You could keep your town beautiful, and it would let other villagers go and pick up the weeds so you didn't have to do it.
The mayor has passed a law, keep the town beautiful. This just in, the mayor has declared all crime legal for 24 hours.
There you go. It's Animal Crossing: The Purge. So, uh, but yeah, this new one is just as fun as any of the other ones that you've played. It looks phenomenal on the Switch. I mean, the 3DS one wasn't bad. The Wii one wasn't, an ugly game in either. But I think this is like the first time the game's really been in HD, and you can tell, and it looks really good. You can see patterns on animals' fur. You can see things on some of the clothing.
Speaking of that, Tony, I'm going to send you a picture and I want you to tell me what you see as
Okay,
soon as I can find the chat. I'm going to do this from my phone real quick.
so
Okay.
uh,
Alright. Sending. Should have it.
I see one of the younger Nooks reading a book.
Okay. Take a closer look now at this one.
He has paws.
He has toe beans.
You can actually see little paw prints.
Yes. It's adorable.
They've never had those before, have they?
If they did, we didn't know about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess they're always standing up, aren't they? Every time you see them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, um, yeah, there are like different kinds of weeds now. It's not just the two little pieces of grass sticking up out of the ground anymore.
That's weird.
So there's like little clumps of, uh, clover and other little flowers that you see sticking up out of it. So you have a variety in the types of weeds that you can pick now. What are all these pictures you were sending?
Doom.
Oh, they're all the different Doom things. Um, like with Doom, there have been some quality of life things to make Animal Crossing a little easier to handle, like inventory management. I think is much better this time around than it has been previously.
Oh, do items actually stack now?
Yes,
Oh my gosh, it's so great.
a lot of things will stack now. Not everything. Like fossils don't stack, so you can't just have multiple
Well,
fossils
yeah,
because all
fossils are
fossils do
individual
something different.
items.
Um, but yeah, you can have stacks of weeds now. All the fruit. Well, the fruit's stacked before, but um, all of the fruit stacks. What else stacks that I've seen? Wood. Uh, because with this one, you're not only buying things, you can actually craft things from materials that you find in the environment. So when you shake trees now, it'll drop branches out of the tree, and you can shake a tree and it'll drop, I think, up to 8 branches at a time. It's one at a time, but up to 8 branches before it will quit dropping them. Uh, you can also, if you chop the tree with the axe, as long as you don't chop it down, you can get stacks of wood, not just branches. So, and there's 3 different types of wood. There's softwood, hardwood, and regular wood that you can get
Hmm.
from the trees that all go into different recipes. Uh, all of your tools are craftable now, so you don't have to worry about them being in the store at the right time if one of your tools breaks. If it does, just make sure you have the materials. You can craft them at a crafting table, and you're good to go.
That's why you build spares and just keep them on hand somewhere nearby.
Uh, yeah, your house has inventory by default. So once you've upgraded to your house, you can actually go inside and from your inventory without having to even go to like a shelf or anything in your house, you can just put it in your house's storage.
Hmm.
So you just open up your inventory, click on the item you want, and there are multiple options, and one of them is now put in storage. So, you have a pretty sizable storage bin in your house now that is separate from any of the other items that you could put in there.
Good to know.
Uh, It is multiplayer. You can have, I think, up to 4 people on the same, or is it up to 8? It's up to 8 people on the same console living on the island together. Um, you have to share resources though, because everybody shares the same island. Um, so if one person goes and takes all the fruit for the day, nobody else gets any fruit. Uh,
Yeah, that's always an issue with the shared towns and islands.
I really wish there was a way that they could figure out how to let multiple people live on an island and be able to do that. Like the fruit would spawn for each person once a day instead of just one time per island. So if I walk up there and I take all the fruit off of a tree, if one of my kids would then come in, they would also be able to get fruit off of the tree. Um, because that's already led to a bunch of fights for people who are accusing the other one of stealing everything on the island. Uh,
It is the Hunger Games after all.
essentially. Uh, so, but yeah. What other kinds of things have they done this time around? You have a new smartphone that has a bunch of different apps, and so you have the bells that you normally collect from selling items and things like that. But you can also earn uh, basically like rewards points with Tom Nook for doing different things around the island. So even if you've gotten all of the fruit, all of the fossils, all of the weeds that you can find, and there's not stuff like that that you can do, there are actually little missions basically that you can do, and you earn Nook miles that can be redeemed towards items as well. So it'll be things like, you know, selling 15 fruits or chopping down 5 trees. Um,
Nook
and
Miles.
yes,
Okay.
so I did just unlock the ability to go to like other places that you can go to get resources. So like in, was it City Folk that you had the island that, or no, it was 3DS one where you could go to like the bug island and you could collect all the bugs there that were separate or that were different from the ones that you would find on your regular town.
Yeah, I think that's how Shannon was making his living in Animal Crossing.
Oh yeah, he figured out how to
Like he had all his trees replanted and everything, and made a cycle so that way it was just constant bugs.
mhm. So I
You could
think
go to an
there's
island on the GameCube version,
yeah. I don't think you did in the
as long as you
city.
had the Game Boy Advance connection on there.
I think in City Folk the only thing you could do was go into the city where all the shops were.
You could, I think you could visit your, or you could visit from your DS version,
Really?
or move over. One of those you could do something with.
I know with this one, if you have Pocket Camp, which I re-downloaded, I can't believe I did that, but I played that while I was at work on Friday when I couldn't play New Horizons.
To redeem
I
all
was
the stuff.
I did. If you have Pocket Camp, there are items specifically from that you can then get in New Horizons. You don't get them for free, which stinks. Um, you still have to actually pay for them or redeem miles for them, I think. Uh, but you get these exclusive items for linking Pocket Camp and New Horizons together.
Okay.
Uh, I think there's also, was there my Nintendo stuff that was exclusive to this as well?
I know there's like a carpet or something Mike had mentioned.
I don't remember. Uh,
You know what? Let's look it up.
so, but yeah, this game is going to take so much time. Like, I can already see all of the time ahead of me. And they give you more reasons, like with these little sort of mini missions that you can do to go back into the game. So it's not just, okay, I need to go collect all my fruit for the day and sell it. I need to, go visit the turnip lady and play the stock market. Uh, there's all these other little things that they try to encourage you to do. that they say they reward you for just living on the island, and it really is. I mean, it's like you got miles, Nook miles for talking to the first villager that you saw, and you got Nook miles for uh, you know, fishing. And fishing in Animal Crossing is the most relaxing thing I think you can do in a video game.
I'm not.
And
I'm seeing. Oh wait, I needed to like update the page or something.
um,
Digital version.
so
Blah, blah.
if I can get rewarded inside Animal Crossing for fishing, I'm gonna fish all day long because it is so relaxing. I've done basically everything that I can do. Within the first couple of days, you finally do get access to the other parts of the island because when you first get on, you can't actually access everything because parts of the island are blocked off by rivers and there are no bridges. Um, so you have to figure out how to get something that will let you get across the river. I figured out how to do that. I don't want to give any spoilers away for people that want to have all of this stuff, you know, figure it out for themselves. If you want to know and you're curious, you can ask me. I'll tell you. But I've done that. I figured out how to get all the different tools. There's plenty of fun stuff to do on the island. So, but for the first couple of days, like with Animal Crossing in the past, there's only so much you can do. You can't, speed ahead of everybody basically because of the way the real time clock works. If if you got
There,
the game,
there
you're
is a time hack out there, or time manipulation glitch right now.
have people figured that out?
Just don't update your base cartridge of the game, I guess, or something.
Yeah, I got the digital version, so that wouldn't have even mattered.
Well, as long as you didn't update or something. I don't know. I do know there's a glitch out there, and some people are using it just so they can show off more on while they're streaming, so that way it's not just holding people back or something
Of
to
course.
on content, because there's really not much you can do throughout a whole day to keep people entertained on the stream.
No, there's not.
Well, in Animal Crossing anyway.
Yeah. So, but playing the game the regular way, I've done everything you can realistically do in the first like 48 hours of the game of real time, not like 48 hours game time.
Why do I have
So
840 platinum points?
I have no idea. But yeah, Animal Crossing I will be playing for the foreseeable future. Um, so I will definitely be talking about it over the next few weeks.
Oh, they gave me 300 just for signing in for my birthday.
I got those too.
Wow. That explains why I have like way more or double my gold points.
So, but
Not
that is really
upset.
all that I have been doing. So let's take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll talk about the news. So the news this week has really been dominated by the coronavirus. Uh,
Not just the news, but the world.
that's true. That's true. Um, but in the world of video games, it's been surprisingly uh, newsworthy over the last few days. Um, one thing is that with the recent announcements of basically every professional sport ever being either postponed or just outright canceled, some of these organizations are getting a little creative and looking to the world of esports to keep people interested during this few week period. We hope that they will be unable to compete regularly. uh, the two biggest ones that I saw this week were both racing organizations, and that's F1 and NASCAR.
Oh.
Both of them this weekend held or are holding. At the time of the recording, it's tomorrow. Day people are listening to this, it's in the past. Um, they're holding digital versions of the races they would have held this weekend. Uh, F1 was supposed to be in Bahrain for the Bahrain Grand Prix, and they got their drivers together and held a virtual version of the Grand Prix that was 28 laps long, which is about half the length of the regular race. And the cars are being set up in a way that will allow the drivers who don't necessarily play video games to try and be able to compete against the ones who really do. They're allowing the less experienced drivers to turn on things like traction control, you know, all of the different driver assists that people who don't really know how to play racing games would use. And then the ones who, of course, also, in addition to driving real cars, play the video games, they're turning all of those off because they have more experience. So, and NASCAR did the same thing where they got, I think, 20 drivers together and put them not together, but they got 20 drivers to join this basically online race that it's taking place in iRacing, which is like a huge esports racing league. They actually have iRacing tournaments regularly, and you can, if you are good at iRacing, you can win a pretty decent chunks of money. But with NASCAR, they're actually getting the drivers and giving them the big simulation rigs that the pro level iRacing drivers use that have multiple monitors. You're in basically the cockpit of a car and driving that way.
Nice.
And they ran the Homestead Miami race that was taking place this weekend and ran 100 laps of that virtually. So it's interesting. And both of these organizations have said that for the next few weeks, they will be doing this, where normally if they have an event scheduled for that weekend, they will be doing these esports versions of them as well.
Are these counting as like their real races that they would
No,
have?
no.
Okay, so this is just to fill in the gap and for fun.
Yeah,
or maybe
not,
leading to something greater once the pandemic has come
these
to.
are in no way official, so if you win the esports version, you're not getting points toward the regular like NASCAR season.
Yeah, but I mean, we might see NASCAR think, hey, wait, maybe we should have essentially an iRacing league of their own.
Yeah. Well, like the NBA does their NBA 2K league. I think they use 2K.
I mean, do they have to wait for the updates or anything?
I don't know. But they actually do. NBA teams sponsor esports teams, and those esports teams get together. They have a schedule of basketball games just like the pro teams, and they play just like the NBA teams would do. So
okay.
And I
cool.
saw as well, I don't know all of the details about it, but a couple of soccer teams got together and had some of their players doing, digital friendlies, basically, is what they were calling them, where they would get together and actually play FIFA with their own teams and just had fun with it. So over the next few weeks, we could see a bit of a rise in esports for people who are becoming starved of baseball or NASCAR. So it'll be interesting to see how this hiatus of these sports affects the esports realm.
Looking forward to seeing the bonuses that come with that happening.
So it's also affecting movies, and we are seeing a bunch of movies that would have been in theaters right now being released to digital rental services early. There was what movie did I see? The Trolls movie.
That Pixar movie, right?
Yeah, that one. But Trolls was supposed to go into theaters here pretty soon, and they are going to, for the next few weeks, allowing people to rent it for $20, which is the cost of just a couple of tickets. So if you have like a family of 4 that would have been going to see the Trolls movie, you get a little bit of a discount now, and you can just watch it from the comfort of your own home. So that Pixar movie, Onward,
That's what it is.
Has
That's
it just came out in theaters, but because theaters are all closing, they're actually going to put that. I think it's on digital services now, and
hmm
then
I think
in a couple of weeks,
2 or 3 weeks it will be on Disney
it
Plus.
will be on Disney Plus. Yeah,
So yeah, that's a fairly bright side of that one.
I saw
Uh,
they released Frozen 2 on Disney Plus like 3 months before they were originally going to do it.
hmm,
Star Wars got did not get put on Disney Plus, but is now available for purchase or rental through like Vudu and places like that. Uh, a few weeks earlier than they were going to put that on the digital storefronts. Um, how this relates to video games, though, is that Sonic is also doing the same thing.
yeah, that the Sonic the Hedgehog movie is actually going to be released on the digital storefront March 31st. So into this month, 10 days from this recording.
Yeah.
Um, so that's digital only. The physical version is actually going to still be released around in May, near the end of that
Mm-hmm.
month. So I think with this one we're getting some. Well, there should be additional commentary like from the guy that voiced Sonic. What's his name?
Uh, the guy from Parks
Parks
and
and
Rec. That's
Recs.
all.
Yeah. Uh, the guy that voiced Sonic. There's a commentary from him. There, I think
Ben
also
something.
Ben
Ben Schwartz.
Schwartz. Yes, Ben Schwartz and the director, whose name I don't never knew to begin with. But there's some things like that, and I'm not sure what's going to be on the in the physical copy. I'm still hoping for that original version with the bad Sonic design.
You'll
Just
be
so
able to choose which version of the movie you want to watch.
I will sit through the bad version and just be disgusted the entire time, but I will watch it. So yeah, March 31st, Sonic the Hedgehog will be publicly available, and I saw
Yeah.
that what 3 4 weeks ago.
Yeah. I haven't had a chance to
Gosh,
see it yet, so
yeah.
I
So that,
may.
yeah, you might
If
get
this
to
is
see it.
available for rental, I may have to rent this movie.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be.
So, uh,
Uh, in other,
GameStop is also closing their doors.
so earlier in the week, specifically around Thursday and Friday when Doom was coming out and Animal Crossing,
Hmm.
GameStop was supposed to be closing their doors, like all the smart businesses that listen to government officials, so that way they don't get hounded by authorities and people with uh, concerns towards health
Hmm.
violations. Uh, there's just been a ton of news on GameStop. They were staying open, even saying that their store was
Yeah.
essential towards whatever.
Yeah, they
There's
were claiming they were an essential retail service.
They were claiming they were essential because they are listed as an electric company.
Seriously.
That's one of the reports I was reading. That's how they were getting by that. So authorities would show up, and they would managers are supposed to give the authorities a letter or phone number to call their the main office or something,
Yeah.
CEO and all that. So they would get an explanation from there and have to back off, and it's like they're it's just bad. There was a bunch of Reddit posts from GameStop employees, district managers complaining about uh, the district managers were dropping some news that was not supposed to be made public, like how higher ups were saying this is so GameStop can make more money and uh, take advantage of a situation. Is essentially is what it was coming down to.
Yeah.
Whereas the employees had been talking nonstop since the COVID-19 news, because GameStop had announced that they were, oh, we're doing everything to for our employees to keep things clean and whatever. And the actual news came out. It was like, no, they didn't have us get extra cleaning stuff. We're still using the crappy stuff that we've always had.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing after getting all the money from Doom and Animal Crossing, if they could in a couple of days, and enough people complaining online, they're closing their doors as of the 22nd, which is Sunday, which is 2 days ago as of this podcast release to public. And the news essentially just is it's a letter from the CEO saying, yes, we care about people and all that. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, there you go.
It was not a good week for GameStop.
Oh, I mean, it kind of was since they got rid of. Oh, they got the Cell Doom and Animal Crossing.
Well, yeah, that was the one good part of the week for them.
um, Although I'm saying they're closing, what they're doing is still they're staying open. They're allowing curbside pickup for orders that can be placed online, or I guess you can call one in on a store. I'm not really sure on that one.
I don't know.
So yeah, they're still open, just not open. So don't expect to go in and browse through everything on the store shelf and find that one little hidden gem you might not have thought about.
Yeah. So
Speaking of hidden gems you might want to play, PlayStation 5's backwards compatibility is going to be at least 100 games on launch.
that's
And
better than zero.
yeah,
That's
that's
the
better than the PS4's launch. But there is some talk and some posts from PlayStation's blog that suggests that the number of titles available at launch could end up being much higher, and it could even be the there are plans where probably the overwhelming majority of 4,000 plus PlayStation games will be playable. Even
that would you would really hope so. I think Microsoft has come out and confirmed that basically any disc that they've ever released will work on the Xbox Series X.
oh, that'd be amazing.
So Sony's going to need it.
I doubt on the Xbox Series X that Steel Battalion will work, but I can be
Okay, well,
hopeful.
yeah, that probably won't.
Now I'm
But
not talking heavy armor, the Kinect crappy game. I'm talking
the one with the big controller.
the one with the 40 plus button controller. That thing's amazing. I want to play mine again, but just having a proper setup to enjoy it is. I'm not. I need to get like three dinner table things out to do
Yeah.
that.
It would be really nice for that game to work, or for them to actually put out a proper sequel to that game.
That's it. Well, yeah.
So, but yeah, Sony had talked about the specs of the PlayStation, and I've seen some good things from developers online or very positive about what the PS5 looked like it's going to be. Um, of course, Xbox fanboys are saying it's not as powerful as the Xbox One, and Sony fanboys are saying there's no way the Xbox will be able to compete with this once it comes out. And then developers are like, you know what? They're both really good.
Their specs actually aren't that different. I'm actually pulling
So
them up right now, and I'm hoping the video does not autoplay. Okay, it doesn't look like it. If it does, we'll find out. Okay, Xbox is left, PS5 is right. Okay, the Xbox Series X is going to be a 3.8 gigahertz custom Zen 2,
hmm
whereas the PlayStation 5 is a 3.5 gigahertz custom Zen 2. So a little more power on the Xbox side CPU. That's fine. GPU 12 teraflops at 1.825 gigahertz. Uh, Sorry,
please don't
choking.
die.
Let me take some water here. So 1.825 gigahertz RDNA 2 is, I don't know what that means, versus the GPU on PS5 10.28 teraflops at 2.23 gigahertz. So that's a little faster on the read speed for something
Yeah.
there. Memory, they're both 16 GDDR6 16 gigabyte. That's pretty nice.
Huh?
I prefer them to do like 32 or higher myself, but we'll see that in the future. Memory bandwidth. Xbox has 10 gigabytes at 560 gigabytes per second, 6 gigabytes at 336 gigabytes per second. Not sure what the two different SKUs there are, unless there is going to be a different SKU of the Series X, isn't there? Great.
Yeah, I think there's going to be two different ones.
Versus the memory bandwidth of the PlayStation 5, 448 gigabytes per second.
Yeah.
Just standard. So,
Yeah.
Storage, 1 terabyte custom NVMe solid state drive to 825 gigabyte solid state drive. It's actually a 1 terabyte in the PS5 as well, but part of
Yeah.
that's allocated towards something else, and
Yeah,
it's
I
a
don't think
custom.
there's as much.
I want to say it's like a custom thing on that too. It's not listed here. Uh, oh, this thing is not in date because it says optic drive, 4K Blu-ray, and then PS5 just says yes, and then both of them are 4K. Xbox is it says HDR yes. PS4 I know does HDR, and it doesn't say so on here for PS5, but I imagine it's gonna be yes.
Probably.
Xbox Series X, two HDMI ports, two 3.2 USB ports, Ethernet storage power. Uh, and as for the ports on PS5, USB and NVMe slots.
Mm-hmm.
And they're both still listed for holiday of this year.
The one thing that kind of worries me about the Xbox is their expandable storage.
Yes, because
it's going to be proprietary.
Yeah, and that's what the problem with the Vita was that no one liked.
I think this is going to be much cheaper than the Vita was.
Oh yeah, I mean, and it's going to be a much larger size.
Oh yeah,
I think Vita, its memory went up to 64 gigabytes, and
yeah, this is
you
going
had
to
to
be
pay
expandable terabytes.
you had to pay like well over $100 just to get that stupid little memory card that's the size of a dime.
Mm-hmm.
And they were sold in a very small stock, and people wanted them, and PlayStation's like, yeah, cough up the money.
Yeah.
Jerks.
So.
And this is as of March 19th, 2020 on Digital Trends.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
I know I saw a better listing somewhere. I just don't know where it's at the moment.
as we get closer to the launch of these two systems, we'll hear more and more about them. I think Microsoft did confirm theirs will be out in November.
I think they were still aiming for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's.
But also thought that might have been a joke someone posted.
I don't think it was.
Just expect it around holiday this year, so that's gonna be great.
Yeah, so, and with that, that will be the news. So let's move on to our listener feedback, and we got one this week from Chris via Facebook, and it is about Animal Crossing. I had asked people uh, to tell us a little bit about what's happening with them with Animal Crossing this week, and
I did like Nathan's reply to that.
what did he say?
He said rip and tear.
Yeah.
I know what he's playing.
Yeah, he's playing Animal Crossing.
Yep.
Uh, Chris said, I bought a digital copy and it let us play on both Switches, but it won't let us do any local play or online with each other. So I'm going to have to buy another copy. I was going to get a physical copy, but there's no option to cloud save my game. So when I get the physical copy, I'll have to restart my island, question mark.
Yes.
It's the Corona Island, by the way. I'll probably have the answer before you do the podcast, so I'll report what happened when I get another copy. The answer to that is, though, yes, because there is no cloud save. The only way you can do that, I think they've said that like there's a one-time thing if you lose your system or it gets stolen or something like that, you would be able to call them and they could.
Unless, well, I think he's meaning the island on his Switch. If the digital version and the physical version would use different islands,
They would.
they would.
I think so.
No,
No,
I think they use the
not
same
on the
island.
system. It's on the system itself, whether it's digital or physical. You'll have that one island.
Yeah, your
one,
save should still be there, so it shouldn't because it doesn't save to the cart.
the only thing is if you're talking about using it on a second system.
And if you already have it on the other system and it's a different island, I'm assuming the two of y'all would have different islands then.
Yes.
Let us know.
Yeah, it's really weird. I really wish they had done one island per user and not one island per system. I know why they've talked about not doing that because it's easy to exploit it.
And that's what we want to do is exploit it. Now give us our
Yeah,
islands.
that's exactly the second people get the game, they're trying to figure out how to get everything they
The
possibly
first
can.
thing that was exploited was time.
Yeah, which they had said you weren't going to be able to do. People immediately figured out a way to do it. Um, so, yeah, I don't get Nintendo's, scared mindset about people, getting some extra grapes or, uh, having multiple profiles to get all of the different fruits a little earlier than they would be able to normally. So, um, it's just weird.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so Animal Crossing will be dominating a lot of people's lives for the next few weeks. That's all we know.
Yep.
So, but there you go. That will
In,
be the show for this week.
in an effort to brag about my own stuff, I consider myself an official speedrunner now since I am now on a ranked leaderboard.
You are on a leaderboard. You're in eighth, though. I thought you said you had gotten seventh.
I misread the thing.
Okay.
I could have sworn there was an eighth person on there before I entered, unless they got banned or something during that
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Yeah. Still, though, I watched you finish. Not Animal
That
Crossing.
that's the run you saw.
Yeah.
That is the
Uh,
run. You were there for that.
Finishing Mutant Muds in 20 minutes is insane to me. So you made that game, even though there were some spots that both you and I noticed that you could have sped things
I
up a
could have
little
saved.
bit
I
if
could
you
have
had.
saved over a minute.
Yeah.
I saw on the replay. It's over a minute. I could have saved.
Still, finishing that game that fast is impressive.
Right now I'm last place by a little about 18 seconds. So I have nowhere to go but up right now.
That's true. I want to see the run from that person who finished it in 14 minutes. That
Oh
is
gosh, yeah, I'll send you a video to that. Yeah.
that just blows my mind.
Jason was watching it earlier and was like, "Yeah, he could save time doing this and that." I'm like, I know, but he doesn't.
So I will definitely have to watch that run because I've finished some levels and I thought I was going fast, and my time was nothing compared to the times that I've seen for people on the speedrun list.
Uh, Second quick note. The reason I have a time now is I decided to enter a speedrunning charity thing that's to help uh, victims of the COVID-19 stuff.
Uh-huh.
And Big John on twitch.tv/, I think it's Big John. I don't. Big John, he's a speedrunner, does a lot of stuff. You see him usually at ESA and Games Done Quick.
Yeah.
Uh, he's hosting his own marathon this coming weekend, and he asked for a bunch of people to submit runs, and usually he gets the perfect amount of runs, and maybe have like one or two he has to tell people, sorry, I don't have enough room for it. This time he had like 300 entries, and he's just like, oh gosh, because he had to let down like 195 runs,
Wow.
and I was I was watching him do the schedule thing. He did that live today as of this recording, and you can see the wheel spinning. He has got all this stuff randomized. You see Super Mario Odyssey coming as it's slowing down, and right behind it is Mutant Muds,
Mm-hmm.
but it stopped on Mario Odyssey. And I was just like, so close, man, so close.
Yeah.
But I might try entering some more stuff and, just get better at the run over time.
Are you gonna put that run up on YouTube?
It's already up on YouTube.
Okay, I hadn't seen it.
You saw it live.
Yeah, but I hadn't seen if you'd posted it to.
It's on my personal channel.
Okay.
I'll throw a link in the description.
Okay.
So yeah, sorry. I just felt the need to, I don't know, brag about that. I guess is what I wanted to say.
Hey, you earned it.
Yes, I earned
So,
the last place.
hey,
Technically, anyone could have submitted a time over 20 minutes and been last place.
I could submit a time right now and be in last place, but it'd be like an hour and
Exactly.
a half at best. So,
It just then you can come up and say, "I'm just slightly worse than you."
well,
It's like, thanks, Tony.
there you go. All right. So, that will be the show for this week. So, thank you, Ethan, for being here.
Thanks for watching, people.
If you want to reach out to us, we have new ways to do so. You can email us at procedurallygeneratedent@gmail.com. If you like what we do, you can support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/pgent. Patreon supporters get the video version of the podcast a day early. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/progenint. Check out our YouTube channel, and we still have that famous Facebook group where you can interact with us on a daily basis as well.